Nabo mo GKK sa una dito. Mo surrender ko ba ka usahay na or
Para sa'yo, kailangan lang ba nating magbigay dahil kailangan tayo?
kung naa sa karon diri unsa imong gusto ingon sa iya?
Are you single or not?
Ma'am, nagregret ba ka nga na-experience nimo to siya? What have you learned in your life? Do you think, ma'am, you have fulfilled the mission God has given you? Unsa nahitabo or something like that? Have you felt unhappy? Unsa kang klase nga pagkaasawa, ma'am? What can you say to your old self? Or can you consider it as cheating?
Nakita ba nimo nga tungod na sa murag ing ana ang isa sa mga good qualities or mga edge ninyong mga babae nga mag-lead?
Sa mong gibuhat nga mas ganang nasabtan gid nimo pag-ayo. How do you see the youth as part of the church? And what are your dreams for them? Do you regret those as a mother? So unsay mo ginabati na nga hantud karon di pa ka sure?
Ano, naging sa kung kinabuhi gani nga murag mahadlok ko.
Ato maganing i-honor ang atong mama. Kana pa nga ang si Mama Mary, no?
You did not choose me, but then I chose you.
Isudlan na to ni kumano na to ni. Be responsible. Maningkamot ka.
Ang baya kaayo no kung kanang dili ka kasi magkang madomingo. That is why I'm really eager to give.
Hindi naluluma ang pag-ibig kahit kailan. Hindi gasgas sa bulsa ang salitang mahal kita kahit sa ano man ito mapakinggan dahil hindi naluluma ang pag-ibig.
Just love. Only love.
Tingin ko nga, kanang pwede ako na po. Ano, ito.
Siya mga, ikaw ko pinakabutan nga anak. Ikaw si Dada.
Pero himo na ako ng inspirasyon para sa butog ako ng mga pangandoy. Isa naman akong pangandoy, mahatag na ako ang gusto akong inahan, akong namahan.
Murag, throughout that journey, murag, dili gud ako ang kinaadid ko.
Hala Lord, kapoy naman siya. Kanang, nabay mga tao nga pwede mo mangmustaan sa imo si isa lang kabuo.
Mayong buntag Diocese of Marbel. Palaknakon, trupon, ug atong susihon ang mga isyu sa nasod nga adunay kalabutan sa kinabuhi sa simbahan. Kini ang inyong igsoon sa kahanginan, Jhon Lloyd C Manggay, ug mag-uban kita sa isa ka oras nga paghisgot sa gugma ni Kristo. O kini ang atong programang UBAS, Ugnayan ng Bayan at Simbahan. Once again, may buntag mga kaigsuunan. Friends, welcome to the program.
Yeah, may buntag sa tanan.
Okay, so I'm so honored to have you sa programa karon sa Love JL sa tuwang ugnayan ng bayan at simbahan, and siguro daghan tag ma-discuss no with regards sa imong kinabuhi isip usa ka batan-on, and of course how the youth see certain issues right now. So I would like to begin our discussion nga by asking you kung kumusta ka karon.
Hello everyone, no. Kumusta ka karon? It's like simple question, no, pero if ikaw i-try nimo tubag murag maka-reflect pud ka within yourself kung kumusta na ba ko. Siguro the previous days or months or even sa tuwat siguro tanan has been very hard, no, sa pandemic, and mag-adjust tanan sa imong mga usual na ginahimo, and even sa among mga ginahimo karon mga ganap sa kinabuhi karon, from school, from your social life, sa imong friends, sa imong family, mag-adjust gyud katanan, and lisod siya at some point, but months after na murag na-establish na yung sarili sa ingaling na setup, you can start to see the light, the beauty of this whole setup, na mas ironic na with the separation physically, mas ma-feel mo ang connection mo to other people, mas connected na mo, or kumbaga mas naa na ang tao dira sa imo, even wala sila physically, if that makes sense. And siguro sa ako ang sarili, like personally, with all the things na sa opportunities sa tanan na hitabo sa ako, this pandemic, overwhelming ang ato na mga butang. And today, at this point, I'm opening na again a new chapter of my life in my college. So that's one thing that super overwhelmed ako right now.
And congratulations sa himuhang scholarship sa Ateneo, no, the Davao. And welcome to the family.
Yeah. Actually, a funny story lang po sa scholarship kay ang deadline sa scholarship sa Ateneo was May 15, I think. And pagkabasa na ko na ang submission is 12 midnight, at 11, i-finalize na tanan ko kung application sa Google Docs. Tapos pag-open na ako, 12 noon di ay ang karang end sa application. So, nagdali-dali ko sa akong mga documents kasi syempre may kailangan pag BIR about like sa imong income sa imong parents and all, and may essay pa. So ato nagdali ko compile, and napasa, na submit. Tapos mga 3 PM gi-check na ko akong email, kung gi-check na ko ako ang mga submission. Late to know na wala din ako na-attach ako ang essay sa email. So grabe kulba na kay ko, so ako ang message ang admission na i-consider akong essay, tapos wala na sila nag-reply. So kung within me, nadawat na ako sa akong sarili nga okay, sa kadagan tao na nag-apply for scholarship ba, karang who would make pansin me nga karang nakalimtan ang essay. pero naga may hope dito, nag-ampo ko sa Ginoo nga, Lord, give this to me, Lord, kay gabi murag gusto jud kay na mag-ano, and like praise God yun na karang pagkakita sa email, nag-email ang admission sa ako na allowed ko sa scholarship. Nangurog ko, namugnaw kay grabe dyan, it's a dream come true for everyone.
Then mo no nga, when it's really for you, ana siya.
Yeah.
Friends, gusto na ko siya, you mentioned a while ago na you felt the connection nga kanang, even in the absence of physical connection, naaga pre-connection. I would like to kanang connect that. How connected are you with your family?
You know, this is like super nice na story, no? Kasi, this pandemic, especially teenagers, young love and all that, mo na ang ginatawag karon as internet love, kumbaga. And the funny thing is, like, I had an experience of internet love, and then like, somehow it felt like, siguro, nasakitan jud ko at some point, na mga butang. And
Kaya in-love ka.
In-love ko from someone na I haven't met physically pa. And,
So, mga context siguro, connection?
And regarding sa family, constrained ka sa room nimo, tapos like dili ka makapagawas, so sakit na kayo mong gibati. So I'd like to share that this pandemic, this is the first time na nihila ko sa akong mama, na karang naghila ko sa iya, giingon ako sa akong nabati and everything, and connecting it good sa connection niya na akong family, kay dili gyud ko nga karang openly emotional sa ilaha, dili gyud ko magpagaw sila kay I appear, even siguro I assume na ang tao ang tanaw sa ko, I appear someone na like strong standing, tapos dili mo hilak and everything ingana. So like even my family ingana ilang pagtuo sa ako, ang kaya na ko lang ingana ang mga butang good, and unexpectedly nga sa muhilak pa ko, dito pa sa gugma pag yun, mao na ingon akong mama na isugay ka sa gobyerno, tapos muhilak ra ka ani niya. So like at na in that discussion, like,
Who is a person?
Well, it's another story to tell. But like,
Taga-asa siya.
It's not from, ang clue na lang na ako yata, it's not from Visayas and Mindanao.
It's from Luzon. Paano mo nagka-ilat? Gusto na ko siya i-discuss ka diyon ang kanang aspect sa imong kinabuhi, because it's real man good sa kamatanunan nato karon. And maybe they will also learn from that kind of story ba? Kanang, as what you've said, internet love.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to give us a glimpse of what kind of experience did you have or did you experience about internet love?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned kanina na pandemic, grabe ang opportunities nga i-open sa ako, especially yung leadership, no? Daghan kayo congresses, daghan kayo conferences, trainings and all. So nakailala ko siya dito and you feel na karang for the past years kasi with my previous relationships, I feel na like we have connection pero like with that person I felt the strongest connection that I have with someone, na like the relationship with someone on that level. we have the same interests, the same political leaning, the same tanan na nga imo makitaan and siguro that was the point na karang gabi mo imo sarili ba mabaguhan ka kumbaga. And yun, we've really invested ourselves with each other.
Through, of course,
through, of course, internet. And yun lang, only to like
How many times do you chat every day? Or nag-video call ba mo?
Yeah, kasi busy person siya. So me also,
Student.
so yeah, so we know like our bounds and limits. But like we talk every day, we talk every day and ayun nga while doing our responsibilities. Pero lagi na we know kasi we're intellectuals and we know na somehow na-partnering we know na this wouldn't work. Kaya
Kinsa
syempre,
ka na-call?
siya actually ang nag-approach ako. Okay, so but like we know that this is something different, this is something new for us, but at
I would like to,
point,
it's interesting. I would like to ask, why did you say na kanang murag, this won't, you know, the both of you knows that this won't work. Why?
yeah, siguro at some at some side siguro nga kabalo may sa mo sarili nga this is impossible. No, with
Why did
one-
you say that it's impossible?
1,000 miles from each other.
Okay.
And during the pandemic, tapos, ayun, the circumstance. But again, siguro, we always knew that, but we chose to continue somehow. Kay murag ang nasa mo ang siguro utok was we were happy at that time, at that moment, and actually we talked about it na like, you know, let's cut na before it gets like too real na and hurt us both. But then again we arrive at this parang story agad na like we're happy now, and I guess naman we'll end with like maayong state. So but we're happy now with what we're doing, and so I think na we'll learn.
How did it affect you? Kay, may nung na to no nga. Nagkita lang mo sa internet, nagkaila mo sa internet, and now you are considering it as something na kanang mo'y mas naka-epekto sa imo. Why is that?
Siguro sa ako ang giin ganina na if the connection between us was like greater than what I had previously. In intellectual discussion, someone who could relate to me, who could relate to where I stand. Tapos sa basically like who I am. And yun nga, siguro that's it. That's the reason why na feel ko mas stronger and mas
When did the time you realize na I think we need to end this? By the way, kinsa saan nag-ingon na, I think we need to end this?
Ako actually.
Ano man?
Siguro because it was a burden na for the both of us. You know, considering na busy gud mi duha. Tapos somehow it became toxic for the both of us.
What was the response you received?
Yeah, I guess kabalo na sad siya na
Padulo.
this is the time na we need to stop na.
Pila mo kabulan or tuig ba?
5 months.
5 months.
It was a good 5 months. And yun, we decided to end things na kasi
How did it affect you emotionally? What did you do when that ends? Considering na ikaw pud ang nag-ingon nga, we need to end this.
Yeah, siguro I was preparing na myself before gid ako siya istorya nga let's end this na. I was preparing myself kay moabot lang gid din na butang and it would be more damaging pa kung ipadayon pa gid ni and all. So maoto na it really like dako gid kayo siya effects ako. This is something new to me. Everything, this relationship, this kind of connection.
Why can you say that it's new? Considering that you have had done a lot of relationships, maybe kapila baka nakauyab in the past, and you're saying now it's something new. What makes it new for you?
I guess again it's the connection. It's the kind of relationship na makes you think na this is how my next relationship should be based on, founded on respect, mutual understanding, and really that mature good na dynamic sa isa ka relationship nga karang we know kung asa lang may kutob, we know how to approach a person, if na may mag-away, actually we don't like fight that much good kay kabalo mo settle na if ingana, and that kind of mature relationship good na you've been looking, and you've not been wala mo nakita sa previous relationship, really considering siguro the age and all, and yun guys yun siguro before nag-transition from naging jud ko sa face na karang murag study first at tapos like di kalit abot sa imong internet love, so tapos like it's something new to you, everything is new to you, so like yeah, we go with this and we'll see.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that, French, no? So gusto na ko balikan, but before na ko to siya balikan, I would just like to ask you, what have you learned from that relationship?
Siguro ang pinaka-importante dyan na ako nabalaan is to learn to value yourself. More than anything, kabalo ka sa imong sarili, where you stand, and asa imong limitations, unsa imong pwede ihatag sa tao, asa lang ka kutob mo hatag sa tao, and asa lang ka kutob mag-remain sa imong sarili. Kaya it's not just about giving. Good na karang some would say na it's better to give than to receive, but for a growing person, you really have to know imong limitations within yourself, good, na dili pwede nga pirmi lang kang hatag, pero yun si Moira, sige kag hatag, pero nahurot na ka. Katong sa music video.
Nagsige na siya kag hatag sa iya, ha?
I couldn't say na it was a one way, but I felt na like it was like the effort was more on me.
Do you think mabuto ang rason nga no na-realize mo nga this should end?
Yeah, part of it, part siguro atong realization nga napangutanan ako ang sarili ba nga am I willing to like do these things to this extent for someone? Murag ingana nga pangutanan nimo ang sarili, and yun at that point nakaingon ko nga no, because this shouldn't be love shouldn't be a one way thing. It's give and take. And if it's on me lang na willing nga maghatag without the effort of the other party, then this wouldn't work. And considering na circumstance na mo, LDR and all that, tapos murag mas imbalance ang paghatag.
French atong time na murag quote and quote dili kay kanya love. Was it painful sa imuha nga ikaw mismo nakaingon nga murag di mo po niya love? Knowing nga siya nag-approach sa imuha una.
That's the ironic thing, di ba? Siya nag-approach sa imuha tapos like siguro it's painful na like why can't you like do better for me, but again it's on realizing na you can't control what people will do to you.
Naingon mo na sa iya? What's your response?
We ended the relationship like very, very okay. So like, niyan ko sa iya na I think na it's not working anymore kasi you're not giving na an effort on this. And anak ko siya he admitted naman na deserve mo better than me. And yun lang, may maglinger lang dyan ang question na why can't you be better for me? But again,
why can't he not choose to better himself for you?
Yeah, but then again, it goes to the question na like you can't control what people, you can control how people would act to you, but what you can do is to control yourself, control your action. So that's what muna akong gimo nga sige siguro diri alam ka nga extent makatag sa kuha, but diri alam pud ko na extent.
Wala po siya naman yung second chance sa iyo, ha? To prove himself?
I guess like we ended that we always knew na we knew na at that point that it needs to stop, and siguro the intimate relationship would stop, but I guess the connection would always be there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now, knowing that, naingon mo kanina na that was the first time you cried in front of your mother. Nganong nabuhat ni mo to? For a long time, dili kay ana, nganong nabuhat ni mo to siya? Nganong sa mama?
Because sige, let's start with like the circumstance. Ang palibot niya karang nalang ka sa balay, tapos like from siguro considering na sa mga sunod na mga previous sa mga relationship nga karang makaadto ka sa imong mga amigo or makalaag ka ana tapos like karon nga karang constraint na kay ka sa inyong balay nga nalang ka diri tapos kulong kaayo ka imong feelings and imong emotions kulong kaayo wala kay mapagausan. And then at that point nahalata na nila nga murag lahi da sakitan ako lahi na ana murag ana. So my mom asked me nagsulod siya sa kwarto tapos nangutana siya nako what's wrong ana. So like wala na ako napugan ako sarili, nihilak na ako sa iyaha. And so like the amazing part mo gud ana is grabe like for a very long time nga wala ko nakahilak sa akong mga maging ani. Grabe ka kalami sa feeling. Actually na like more siguro na like kung unsa akong gipagpasalamat ato na relationship, it's that nabalaan ako na remind ko of my mother's love.
You are still the son.
I'm still a son na like regardless kung unsa na ko karon, you know, you always go back to your family, to your mother.
Embrace, no?
Yeah, kay grabe jud kalami to nga feeling ba na to be reminded niya na your parents is there.
Murag kita gud nga mga batan-on sometimes when we are hurt, nagapahita ta og gateway good. And ang sunod din sa itong auto, ako amigo, ako mga barkada, katong mga nakaila na ako outside the perimeter of our home. But sometimes we did not realize na ang pinadiay ka maka-comfort sa atua in times nga nasakitan na tagmaayo, in times nga murag dili na nimo kaya is the people just around you inside your home. And siguro no nindot kay French nga realization na your mother really reached out to you. Murag wala na siya nagpaabot nga ikaw ang moduol sa iyaha, but dali mo makita ba nga ik-ana jud ato mga ginikanan, no? So na murag layo pa lang ka na ilhanan nila unsay imong ginabati. Did you realize that?
Amazing kayo jud ang instinct siguro sa mga mama, ang paunsa nila na feel guro ang connection sa ilang mga kay kabalo jud sila unsay nabati sa ilang mga and they know exactly what to do with that. Nakarang bisag unsa ilang buhaton nga approach ato. Mugaan gyud mo ang pakiramdam.
Did it kanang kuan strengthen your relationship?
Yes.
With your mom?
Definitely. I can tell na for a very long time na wala may intimate conversation and that happened. You know, I guess na mas siguro nibalik ko sa akong connection closer sa akong family. With knowing na karang nakita na nila ang vulnerable side sa ako so unsa pa ba ang mga butangal nga lesser than that nga dili na ko mapakita sa ilaha. Diba?
What do you want to say to your mother right now? Knowing what happened, what do you want to say to her?
Yeah, ato ba dyan na time actually. Like, just last month siguro, I talked sa akong pinsan. Tapos like, she mentioned na ato na mga time, nag-ato akong mama sa ilang balay to ask for my tita about or what to do. Kay sige na daw kung hilak, tapos tapos gamay daw kay kung kaon na, So like, unsa daw yung button, and dili siya sanay nga makita ko yung ani, na dili siya sanay mo handle of young love. And yun, makita niyo mo na ang concern sa imong mama. And so siguro like I may not be able to like tell this all the time, pero I really value, you know, my parents' lives, you know. May mga misunderstandings me at some point, pero only I know na where they stand in my life, and regardless kung asa ko maabot, asa ko ibutan sa Ginoo, I'll always come back to my very first reason and why. Kung ano na ko gibuhat ni, kung before ko naging ani, asa ba ko gakuha ko, so kinsa akong rason, anong ginahimo ko?
Thank you so much. No, it's a very good story to tell. Sa atong mga kaigsuunan sa kanginan, ilabi na sa atong mga kabatanunan na. Of all the things, maabot na to, si French, he is not kanang kon ba? Dili siya ang the typical na batanon, dili siya ang kanang batanon lang, no? He had achieved so much in life at his very young age. Mo nang I really asked him, no, nga makauban nato sa dinhi karon sa atong programa sa ato Love JL. O gusto na ko mo padayon French with the discussion of knowing that's the kind of family you have, knowing also na you too has vulnerabilities. O mo na dapat ang ma-realize at mga kaigsuunan ba? Labi na sa mga matanunan na we don't need to be strong all the time when we need to be weak, no? We need to be vulnerable because we too are all vulnerable even if na strong kayo ang image. Kung mo lisod usay sa ato sa sarili nato kanang dili na to madawat nga na po tayo vulnerable side, no? And thank you for sharing that because there's always someone. And sa imuha na you found it to your mother, dili man po yes, it's really important or murag naaragyo na pirmi sa atong pamilya, but we cannot also invalidate ba sa ang uban makita nila na comfort sa lain po because we have our own different stories, different perspectives, and different ways of how to comfort ourselves. And sa ako lang jud, it's a very good thing that it's always a family that binds us, no? And sees the vulnerability within us. Thank you so much for sharing that, and maybe we will be back at the moment. Okay, so it's a very interesting story that daghan na discover sa imong personal life na wala. I know labi na sa imong siguro mga kanang dili do friends ni more mga kanila pero did you kay close sa imong kay even ako ang tanaw sila kasi murag the strong friends, no? So now we keep on saying you are strong. Why you are strong? Because you have been doing a lot of things in your life. You are makaingunta an intellectual person kay you've received academic awards for many years already. Ikaduha, of course, daghan kay kag mga organizations nga naapilan. And third, of course, we can say that you are a leader, right? From being an SSG president sa GSAT, maybe in high school, you were also an officer. Now, who would know, again, for this time, na from Glan, Province, in the topmost part of the Philippines, southern Philippines, someone would emerge as the duly elected Federated Vice President of the Supreme Student Government of the Department of Education. Before asking you about these things, I would like to begin with how did the drive to leadership started in you?
Siguro I think na the realization on that is like siguro like beyond the titles, beyond the recognition. It was first recognizing, going back to that discussion, it was first recognizing na I myself am vulnerable. It was recognizing na I am incapable at some points. You know, and I've experienced this. It was not an easy ride for me, for my leadership journey. You know, I started in elementary, actually, the Supreme People's Government. But it wasn't easy as like, you know, madagan kong ingani, madagan kong ingana. There was people na wala nagtuo sa akong capability. And so, or said na I don't have the name to run for that. And for a very young age, people would say na, you know, okay lang na kay pupil pa man mo, unsa pa man, bata pa kayo mo. But for me, nagtatakto siya sa ako, you know, na there are these people na who will like push you. Pero na yung mga people na would do the same, and it would really affect you as a person. But then again, I ran as, I think, a business manager. Layo kayo from president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, PI, down to not even a major officer. Because some people thought na I wasn't capable of that. And so like I accepted still the position because leadership and bata was sige go lang anak. And so carrying it then to my high school life. I ran as a grade 7 representative, and it was a feeling of relief na karang itong nakay kalaban ni actual kalaban tapos botohon ka tapos makita nimo sa tanan grade 7 nga nagatuo sila nimo so top 2 ka nga I was top 2 at that voting so nasulod ko sa representatives so it was the fulfilling na moment na karang nay nagtuos ako syempre na ako sa ikaduha and siguro that went well 7, 8, 9, 10. But I guess it was on my 11th grade na siguro the lowest point of my leadership journey. I ran for president and nidagan ko na unopposed. For some people, it would mean na karang kayahin mo wala kay kalaban, di ba? So diretso na ka-appoint.
Winner by default.
Yeah, winner by default. And that's the painful thing na you're just there because no one else
opposes you.
Nadaog lang ka because wala mo kalaban mo. And that created like doubt in me. Na like, am I worthy to be even standing here na karang wala kong giboto, wala kong giingana. So like, appointment lang diretso. And
Do you think kanang doubt is just like saying na you felt na you don't have the moral authority over them just because unsa ba may sense naara man pud dili just because wala ni kalaban sa
yes, I think na that's one factor na imagine na naagid dito na like your authority over people na like it could be a weapon to question you, to question your credibility, to question your position nga ano man ka ni because wala mo kalaban mo and it continued until I was in 12th grade. I still ran unopposed and questioning sa akong mga nahimo, I had some activities sa school sa SSG. I had my fair share of like doing stuff and for students, but again it questions to like maulang ba niya ako mahimo and considering na sa 2 years ato considering na sa 2 years span sa presidency maulang niya ako nahimo tapos unopposed pa jud ko so like it really created like this feeling inside of me na like am I even worthy. And then grade 12 actually was super challenging, pandemic. So all platforms shifted sa SSG. So lisod mag-maneuver. And I was losing hope na sa ako mga activities na like naabot ko sa point nga ni anak ko na mag-graduate lang jud ko kay kapoy na jud. Gikapoy na jud ko sa expectation sa tao, gikapoy na ko sa pressure knowing na napud ko yung academic life, napud ko yung personal life. And anak ko na sige humanon lang tani humanon. But something unexpected and great happened on the last remaining months of school year. On February, I was called na mag-election sa regional, And on me, anak ko na, sige, attend. It's typical election, attend. But I didn't expect to win. Kasi ang giyon sa kuan na, wala pa yung sarangani nga nadaog and nadaog as president. And I was like, wala gid ko'y intention din to run. Because I was told na may election 2 days before the election. And I was told na dapat pala mag-prepare og mga political ads, dapat mag-prepare og mga presentations sa region. And I came unprepared. Kaya syempre sa gabi ko giingnan tapos ugma na election. So like, sige, I'll just speak what I have to say. And so during the regional election, yun, nakita na ko ang mga presentation sa kada division, presidency, amazing, like ingani lang mga nabuhat, ingana. And ako, I prepared a speech. I prepared a speech. And so I spoke with my heart, with what I did, my values, my principles, and ganyan. And at the back of my mind, you know, na whoever man nga mataog diri, it's okay because it's the most important thing is I presented myself diri. And it was shocking na at the end of the election, all divisions voted for me as their president. And it was...
What do you think was the reason why they voted for you?
I really think na it was because I spoke through my heart. You know, it's cringy, no? Paminawon.
Miss Universe.
Miss Universe kayo. Pero I spoke with what I believe in, with the principles and what I think na should SSG stand for. And so siguro dito nila nakita ang sincerity.
What do you think SSG should stand for?
SSG should always stand for the interest of student body. You know,
For example?
this is a very, it's really cool. Another discussion na ito. This school year, actually last May, the last week of May, i-release sa DepEd ang DepEd Order number 18, series of 2021, canceling all student recognition awards for non-graduating students, only awarding with honors, with high honors, and with high honors for 6th, grade 10, and grade 12. I think that was super unfair. And it wasn't just me na hotot na unfair to. Dagan kay kung na-receive ng mga petitions, ng mga letters, asking me to do something, you know. And sa uban regional presidents ko. And so I convened an FSSG and I led the petition na asking for the Department of Education for an appeal to retract the order. Kaya unfair siya at this point, at unfair siya sa amua na naningkamot this school year.
It's in the national level na.
It's in the national level na. Unfair siya sa amua.
Before, I would like to cut you there, French. Naiunin mo na, you take the lead. So, do you have an opposing stand with your president or what?
Yeah, I think Ken I voted for Ken actually during the election because I know na progressive thinker siya. He's a debater, so I know na he would stand with me. But I think ang ano lang dito na who was willing to take the stand, the bold stand, to stand against that DepEd. And you know, I'm in the position I was elected. Students believed in me. And this is what we are for, you know. And so I took the lead, and yun, I took the lead, and thankfully all presidents were with me. But may discussion lang dito about unsa atong mga awards na i-prioritize. Unsa atong mga awards na i-prioritize, so na dito nga leadership award lang na yung mga nag-mention niya, leadership award na kay tinuod mang budjud ana. But I said na you don't represent yourself, and it would be lifting your own chair kung and
self-vested rights.
Yeah, I believe in you know, student servant leadership. But we are not here because we're Supreme Student Government Presidents. We're here because we represent student body. And that also means to represent their interests, even if dili ta maka-benefit ato. So dito ang more conflict na kung unsa mo i-prioritize sa among petition. And I said, prioritize everything. Because this is the interest of the student body. And so, mao to ang gi-push na mo sa whole petition to really retract the DepEd order.
Do you think nag-appeal og sign ang president ninyo ato?
Yes, it was undersigned by, the signatories were all regional presidents, the 17 of them.
Do you think that was the boldest action you've done in your entire career in leadership?
Yeah,
You're going against the institution who educates you.
I also believe na it was like, I was actually shocked on my bravery na
You're capable of doing that.
I drafted the petition. Sabi ko pa doon na, you know, DepEd should be etched on values of justice and fair play. And it is their responsibility to give credit to whom credit is due. I was super strong with my stand there. And yun, siguro like the inspiration came from the people who believed in me. You know, this is about them. The fight is always about them. And
French, because we have a limited time, do you think that action validates everything that you've been thinking and doing in the past na you think you are unworthy, you think that you are not enough for the position considering that sometimes you are unopposed. And by doing that, do you think that validates everything? Why they voted you, why you were the SSG president of GSAT, unopposed, and why you really did everything and this happened in your life?
I think I was doing it not for my own validation, but for the people to see now what the youth can do. Now, it's cringy at some point, but I was thinking na kung i-file na ko nila petition, it wouldn't just mean na
It's all about you.
Na ako nag-lead ani na I led this petition on the national, but it's more on setting the status quo na ipaibalo sa student leaders and sa future student leaders kung asa mo nagtindog, especially National Federation, kung asa mo nagtindog sa policy making sa DepEd.
Do you think that petition worked?
We are yet to determine the response of Undersecretary Diosdado, and we forwarded the petition and the resolution to the
Office of the Secretary.
the Secretary and the Curriculum and Instruction, and we are hopeful, very hopeful na mapakinggan ni. But again, regardless of the result, it sends a strong message to the Department of Education. Dili sila after 9 years of establishment sa NFSG, dili sila sanay nga na ay student voice. Dili sila sanay nga na ay i-consider na representative of the student body, and now they know na dili sila pwede nga mag-insert lang og policy without consulting students.
Muna nindot doon na gibalik kong establish ang federation sa SSG. Because, I think para po sa kuha, ang DepEd makapamalandong na in some part, of course, they have been successful. Daan ay mga gagmay kanang kakulangan with regards because it's makaingon tayo, it's normal, it's natural. Pero makaingon ta ba nga? DepEd succeeded in educating these young people, these young Filipinos nga they think differently from the status quo, from the norm that they have been seeing in the past years in the society. Now, sometimes no good. Those people who oppose are the people who will allow these people to see na, uy, dili lang pwede yung anak niya, or something like that. And think, ako, I'm working in DepEd, for the youth. And still, I am a youth leader, of course. Now, I really appreciated that in the LYDs, we've discussed it. I think madiscuss na po namin na about knowing na the stand that you have. I think sa ako alam personally, it can, as what you have said, it's not all about the validation of yourself. But for me, it can validate and it affirms na ikaw jud na, you are really meant for that. You are really meant for it. So now, knowing na you have pila na lang ka months,
actually, last remaining days. What do you think would be the biggest thing that you will do as the Vice President sa National? I think, pila na ka-days and I've entered college already. And siguro, again, I think that's the very big thing na I believe na nahatag na ako sa student body sa Pilipinas as a whole is to set the precedent. The precedent that this is where you stand and this is your power. And you can do these things. And it's implying sa mga mindset nila ba nga, dili lang mo estudyante nga if NFSSG ka, dili lang mo for like to like be subject for propagandas and all. Stand with the people na stand with your purpose.
I think dirapod ba sa kanang actually in the bigger picture daghan kaayo na napakita actually sa mga musunod sa inyo to think na common sa SSG kasagaran ang critics no kung naalay activity sa school dira lang makita ang SSG kung naay kanang mga intramurals kanang usa pa na ang mga activities sa school kanang acquaintance parties but even I I've been asking that since before. What can the SSG do outside this kind of comfort zone that they have na dapat mas impactful, knowing I have a different background in community organization. So, pagsunod lang ko sa DepEd, I've been asking that on my mind. Of course, I just keep it on myself. Na, what can the SSG do aside from these things? Because, para sa ako, you can do more. And I think, you proved it, no? Through that. And I hope na we have a lot of SSG to come like you sa sunod pa, no? And I hope mapansin sa DepEd ang inyong hinanain because it's for you, it's for inclusivity, and it's for actually nabasa na ko itong ni Earl, itong murag
Post niya
it's kuan ba murag
enlightening.
Enlightening kay siya in the sense na kanang murag nakita po daw ko ang iyang perspective na kanang tama no murag daghan po biyang estudyante nag-effort nganong i-take away sa ilaha kini nga kanang simple pero meaningful nga, yes, I would use the word again, validation of themselves because na problema na murag naling kamot po jud ning mga bataan ni. Thank you so much for that. Now, knowing, lastly, kay atong time, murag, kuha na dyan, knowing na kanang, hapit na dyan, not in the national level, but in GSAT, what do you think is your legacy to the school?
I think aside from that, aside from being the first in the region being the first sa region to have a president in Sarangani, being the first in the national that came from Region 12 in that position, I think what I can do to the school is, I guess this is like the responsibility that outgoing president should do, is to ready the future presidents, ready the future officers. And I think that's somehow a responsibility na kailangan yun dimutunan because what you did for this organization, for GSAT SSG, will be nothing if it's only for you. You know, if ikaw lang nag-work, if it's you would train. You know, it's all leadership is not about always you. You know, it's training also leaders to also step forward. Because me myself, I'm a product of people who believed in me, and I guess it is a responsibility to also pass leadership to others to also step in as well.
So, can you say that you've accomplished that?
We're in the process, but I think I did. Simply.
What if that leader, that someone whom you think fails to exercise the duty of being a true leader in the coming months or years?
I think leadership also is not about capability. It's not just about your skills. Leadership is also more about on your personal level. It's on your choices and on your principles and on what you believe in. And I cannot like infiltrate siguro kung unsa ilang personal preferences or unsa what they choose to do. But what I can do is to pass on those things na kaya na ko ma-influence sa ila.
Now, lastly, Jhon, what is your greatest what is the greatest lesson you've learned in leadership, personally?
Personally, everything that happened in the pandemic is very pivotal. It gave me a new perspective of leadership. And after everything na naagyan ako, ang number one na natunan, empathy. Empathy good na you know your people, you know the people you serve, you know the things that they want, And it's on empathy na makabalo ka your reason why you lead. You know, sometimes we become so full of ourselves, nakita na to, blinded na ta sa ato ang platform, sa ato ang positions, but we forget our reason. And I think it's on like the grassroots organizing. I think it's on a one-to-one talk with a student. I think it's on asking them unsay problema ing ana that builds up your purpose as a leader. And empathy, radical empathy, as we say, is one thing na a leader should always have.
Okay, so thank you so much. Daghan po nakatuna. Friends, speaking of leadership, aside from that, of course, I know you also nga kanang you are in or for youth development. You are also a community development organizer. Daghan po kag sa akong naingon ganina sa sinugdanan pa daghan kag organizations nga naapilan, which I think allowed you to be adept to the realities on the ground sa atong society in the Philippines. I know also that you love our country. That is why you are always expressing your views. You do things that will benefit your country as you believe in. Now, I would like also to ask you, gusto ta kapangutan ko sa iyong mga stand for certain issues. Kaya naman, elections is coming, and I think dili lang dapat doon na usap ka mag-educate, no, sa ato ang mga kaigsuunan, especially the youth, because the youth has the power. Actually, ang population mas daghan ta. Actually, we can win a president if we are united and we know where to and what to stand. And it's trending. I would like to begin to the trending issue right now. What can you say about the scenario between the President and our very own Senator Manny? What can you say about that?
I guess for sa mga tao na kabalo sa ako, I na personally know me, kabalo sila sa akong political leaning, you know. But I've always been a vocal critic of the president. And Manny Pacquiao and President Duterte has been in the same party for like years ago. And I guess this is a petty, dramatic, political showcase, no, of what's happening. Manny Pacquiao said the LGBT community is worse than animals. Duterte is as I say it, is a fascist, you know. And I think that it's really not between choosing who's who.
Yeah.
Between Manny and between Duterte. I guess.
But what can you say about the situation that they are?
Yeah.
As what you have said, it's a political showcase.
It's a political like.
Unsa yung dating sa imong anak?
I think this really shows like the principles and the values that they hold.
Okay.
I think it's a like typical rat escaping a sinking boat.
Who do you think will win between the two?
I think that me personally, I believe that no one should win between them. But regardless of whoever like succeeds between like the petty fight between Manny Pacquiao and Duterte, what I can say is, you know, I don't believe someone will win between them because they're already losing with what's happening between them.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, jump to another issue. Do you think EJK exists in the Philippines? If so, why?
Yeah, definitely. EJK, even if the state denies, it's like the state denies EJK. It's happening on the ground. It's sad lang na we've poured out our own money, our own taxes with it. And this is happening within our own like and I feel like we're not doing much about it. But again, I think it's on the systemic part of it na grabe kaganda ang propaganda, grabe kaganda ang system that they've made, na yung EJK na nangyari was less shown to the public, but it's existing.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, how about trolls, fake news, and disinformation?
Actually, the topic is, and you know na that topic is very close to my heart. My org is against fighting and disinformation. The digital age has become so powerful. Grabe ang historical.
Alam ko na ang mga kabatanunan karon. This is a very interesting topic.
Grabe ang historical revisionism. Grabe ka powerful ang tool sa social media against when intervening against policies and against issues, and it will really change people's mind. And so I think that it's a very brilliant strategy to invest on trolls. But for us who fights for truth, who fights for values of truth, we really need to push more against it. And beyond it, I think na mas naay responsibility diri ang mga media corporations, especially Facebook. I think that they should really step up more against their policies on fake news, on flagging misinformation and disinformation, and really shutting down accounts na they know are only misleading viewers.
How about this para dugay na ni siya nga issue, but I would still ask you, ABS-CBN shutdown.
Aside from a student leader, I'm also a student journalist, and I've always valued voicing out. The mass media is one foundation sa atuang democracy, that holds the values of democracy. And this sends a strong message on what this administration prioritizes, on what it believes in. Because shutting down a network is just says it a lot, against press freedom, against democracy in general. And I think that these indicators should be enough for us to decide who to choose, who the next leaders we choose.
Okay, thank you so much. Next, recently, actually until now, the country still mourns with the passing of the former President Pinoy. I would like to ask your thoughts about it. Not about his passing, but what he had done in his administration.
I thank Pinoy for the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro, which led to the establishment of Bangsamoro now as it is. I thank him for the winning of the arbitral tribunal of our West Philippine Sea. But I do remember the massacre in Hacienda Luis-Singcala. I remember the massacre in Kinabawan. I remember what happened to SAF 44, to the Zamboanga siege, and this tells us a lot about administrations, and the long fight now we have for justice. And he had his fair share of contributing to our country, the economy and all. And I think that we should be aware of when a circumstance is being politicized already, is being used as an advantage, and it mustn't be you choose this administration over the other. It must always be for the people, sa masa. And I think that I'm thankful for what Pinoy had, but I think also that there is justice that needs to be served on what he did to our country.
Okay, thank you so much. You've discussed about the highs and the lows of the Aquino administration. Now, 1 year na lang ang bilin sa administration ni President Duterte. Now, what can you say about his administration?
Well, personally, from 2016, 2015, I believed in him. The early days, I was a DDS.
So is this a confession of a former DDS?
No, because actually it's a story of the situation of Mindanaoans na we have been also had a long history of injustices,
And we are underrepresented.
And somehow Duterte coming his way to the national government felt like we had a hope, that something will change, and it was disappointing, I guess for most of us on what happened to his administration. It was a culture of impunity, of injustice, and mass murder.
Many argues about that na focus sa daw pirmi ang opposition with regards to that. But they have not looked onto the other side of the coin when it comes to the Bill program. Daghang mga tulay, mga dalan, nabuhat, infrastructure. What can you say about that?
I think people should understand that we can be thankful for a government, but still
Critical.
but still be critical and ask them to do more. This is not about choosing an administration over. It's about the Filipino people. And regardless kung unsa kada ko imo natabang, if may mga tao pa na nagutom, may tao pa na ginapatay, may lumad schools na gina-close, and may armed struggles na hindi na-address, peace talks are not addressed, and I think we should do more. And we should ask for more. And that leads into the narrative na there will be no better government, and we should ask for more because this is what our country deserves.
Okay, sige. Elections is coming. Now, since I don't think if this is okay to ask, but do you think opposition will win?
I do, and I hope so. It's not because I'm liberal. It's not because I'm politically inclined with Lenny. Because
So,
it's
speaking of Lenny, do you want her to run for president?
yes, of course. I think she's our only choice for the 2022 election, and I've been campaigning for her.
Do you think she will run?
Yes, of course. This is what she's being prepared for, and she's our only choice. And I've been part of the campaigning of Team Lenny Robredo, and this does not mean that after she wins, if she wins, then I'll support them all the way. Of course, criticism will always be there, but it's on our end goal here ngayon. Atong end goal karon is to put a government that is less evil, to put a government that would better listen to its people and to better forward the concerns of Filipino people than the alternatives. We don't want Bongbong Marcos. We don't want Sara Duterte to be the president.
Okay, French, having said all those things, as what you have said, the culture of impunity, the culture of injustice, are you not afraid of expressing these views? And knowing that we have a lot of critics of the government being persecuted. Example, Laila de Lima. A lot. Actually, when I had a forum for peace in South Cotabato, in Mindanao, sponsored by Ateneo, actually, open ako minded to na moto na pumunta na ako na, do you think AJK is happening? Because they're hearing from the stories of the Lumads. We can say, but I would not elaborate it further because gamay na nga itong oras. Now, to end this discussion, ano bang mga experiences nimo, aside sa, of course, it's from a scholarship, no? Mo ba rin naghatag sa imong drive na mag-enroll for international studies at Ateneo de Davao University?
Yeah, I've always believed that we're living in an interconnected systems of domination. Sexism, classism, racism, and all that. And you cannot single out that system against the other. It's always interconnected. And that also adds on na unsay nahitabo sa isa ka lugar, sa isa ka nation, would always have an impact to the other and to the world. That's why I major in American Studies, because I do understand the significance of USA to the whole world. And
Wala pa rita ka na pangutana ka to, o pa na ako, diretso na ako. Were you not afraid? I want to go back to that question.
yeah, I'm afraid. I guess everyone should. But I think beyond being afraid is again going back to your purpose. Because if no one would stand and be afraid, then who would? And sino kung hindi ako? Sino kung hindi ako? And I guess I saw the beauty of standing up. If people see you standing up, then they too assume that they could stand up.
What lesson can you tell to the young people of our country, to the people of Region 12?
You know, siguro, not really a lesson, but a message for them. That standing up doesn't mean, speaking against the government, and standing up and speaking out also happens in the little things. In your family discussion, in your friends, in a one-to-one conversation, and sharing a quote in social media, that's actually standing up. And I guess change is not gradual. It doesn't happen overnight. And so as long as we're doing something and we're standing up on what we believe in, I guess we're moving forward.
Thank you so much. I hope masabtan o ibutang sa kasing-kasing sa mga kaigsuunan. Would you invite them to register?
Yes, definitely, guys. Aside from speaking out, it's important to register to vote. I've been a registered voter already. This will be my first election where I will be eligible to vote for president and other positions. And I do hope that this drive within us will not just remain in Twitter, in Facebook discussion, but on actual political processes, democratic processes. And
Because voting is a sacred duty of a Filipino citizen, having a sovereign country. To end this discussion, I know we've discussed a lot, and I know daghan tagdakatunan. To end this, what are the greatest lessons you've learned so far in your life?
Greatest lesson, siguro number one, as I'm mentioning it kanina, to really empathize to people, to know, it's on knowing their struggles, it's on knowing their history, where you allow yourself to be open to other perspectives. And being in that discussion, be open. Back when I was a child, I always wanted to be a turtle. It's a weird dream, but I guess that reason was I wanted to see the world in other perspective. And that same curiosity drives me to imagine a better world for everybody in different sectors. And we may have different beliefs, but it's on being open to others as well. And number three is, it is not our job to impose the things that we believe in. That's the most important thing. Now, we become so politically woke na, you do this, you do that, you believe in this. But I think that it is not our job to impose to people unsa ang ilang dapat
buhaton.
But it's our job to have a dialogue to them on the things that we believe in. And on that dialogue, we found the same ground na we stand. And together, as a unified effort, we stand on that ground and we fight for the things that we believe in.
Thank you so much, and I hope we can have more time to discuss. But having said that, I know daghan kay tagdakatunan. Thank you so much for giving us your time, friends. Isang napakahirap na to end this. Isang napakahirap na tanong, ngunit kailangan mong sagutin. Mahal mo ba siya? Just to end this lightly, because we've discussed so much and bukat kayo itong discussion.
Do I have to explain?
Walang explanation. Just to end this, mahal mo pa ba siya? Even if he can watch this interview, kung nanonood siya ngayon live,
yes, but
mahal mo pa ba siya? Yes or no?
Yeah. But I guess this needs an explanation. I still do, but again, it's moving forward. You can love someone but still chose to not be with them again.
Okay, sige. Thank you so much. It's real. Upon ending the relationship, it doesn't mean wala na yung pagmamahal. It's still there. You just need to end the relationship for your own peace.
And I guess I'm healing and moving forward and
Thank you. And
moving on to the next phase of my love life.
and I hope you can find someone that will love you and will do an effort. And of course, I also always pray for your safety and for the passion that you have and the things that you believe in, because I know it's for the benefit of the common tao, which is the Juan de la Cruz and the Juana. Now, do you want to greet someone or?
Yeah, siguro at this point na maminaw akong mga parents nila. I may not personally tell you everything that I said, but it's true. And at this channel, I love you guys. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Kaayo. And mga kaigsuunan, daghan kayong salamat sa inyong pag-ikuban kanamo dinhi sa atong programang Love GL, kung diin atong nakatunan ang simple nga bata nahimo usa ka pamaagi sa Ginoo nga ipakita sa atoa nga kinahanglan din itong mulihog dili lamang para sa atoa mga tagsa-tagsa ka mga kaugalingon, kundi sa kung unsa ang maayo nga hustisya alang sa uban. And we learn, my dear young people, about leadership. And I hope na sa tumatag sa mga kinabi, you don't need a position to be a leader. You just need to take the lead in order for you to create a path for a greener pasture for everyone. Thank you and God bless us all. Hangtod sa sunod simana, mao gihapon kini si Jhon Lloyd C. Manggay sa atong programang Love JL. Salamin sa kagahapon, larawan sa kinabuhi. Daghan kayong salamat at God bless. Diocese of Marbel.